Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Chapter to Cinema, the podcast where we explore the highs and lows of book to screen adaptations. Today, we are stepping into the glitzy, glamorous world of Delhi socialites to talk about Aisha, the Bollywood adaptation of Jane Austen's Emma. Austen's stories have been adapted countless times, but Aisha brings its own unique contemporary twist to the tale. So grab a cup of chai or a fancy cappuccino if you're channeling your inner Aisha, and let's get started. Let's begin with the characters. Sonam Kapoor plays Aisha Kapoor, a modern day Emma, and she definitely looks the part. The fashion in this movie deserves its own round of applause. Aisha's wardrobe could rival any Austen heroine's ball gowns. But did Sonam capture the essence of Emma? Well, yes and no. Emma is meant to be charming but flawed. She's self assured, meddlesome, and well meaning in a way that often backfires. Sonam nails the glamorous, entitled socialite vibe, but some fans felt she didn't fully bring out Emma's vulnerability or growth. Then there's Arjun Burman, played by Abhay Deol, who serves as the film's Mr. Knightley. Abhay brings a grounded, no nonsense energy that contrasts perfectly with Aisha's dreamy, impulsive nature. Their chemistry is subtle, but it works, even if the relationship doesn't have quite the same depth as in the book. As for the supporting cast, Ira Dubey as Pinky Bose is delightful, and Amrita Puri as Shefali steals the show as the modern day Harriet Smith. The characters are fun, but some feel more like caricatures of the Delhi high society rather than fully fleshed out Austenistic personalities. Aisha takes plenty of creative liberties with Austen's Emma, starting with the setting, swapping Regency era England for contemporary Delhi was a bold move, and for the most part of it, it works. The film captures the opulence and social dynamics of Austen's world while adding a distinctly Indian flavor. Think polo matches, designer boutiques, and destination weddings. But here's the catch. In focusing so much on the glitz and glamour, the movie sometimes loses sight of the story's emotional depth. Emma's journey in the book is one of the personal growth, is one that reflects her learning to see beyond her privilege, recognizing her mistakes, and genuinely caring for others. In Aisha, that arc feels like a little rushed, with more emphasis on montages and fashion than introspection. The subplot involving Shefali's makeover is one area where the movie strays quite a bit. In Austen's novel, Emma's matchmaking is more about orchestrating romantic connections than superficial transformations. By modernizing the story, Aisha leans into the makeover trope, which feels a bit dated. Moving on, now let's talk about what worked. The film is visually stunning and the production design is top notch. It brings a fresh, youthful vibe to Austen's classic tale. The soundtrack is another highlight. Songs like Gal Mithi Mithi Bol and Sham add a lively energy that fits perfectly with the film's tone. But not everything hit the mark. The pacing is uneven and some of the humor feels forced. Austen's wit is sharp and subtle, but Aisha goes for broader, more obvious laughs, which can feel a bit of out of place. Another issue is the focus on Aisha's likability. In the book, Emma isn't always likable, and that's part of her charm. She's flawed, but ultimately she's a lovable character. The movie, however, seems hesitant to let Aisha make real mistakes, which water down her growth as a protagonist. And now it's time for some fun trivia. Did you know that the film's costume designer Purnia Qureshi created over 60 outfits for Sonam Kapoor? Each look was meticulously styled to reflect Aisha's personality and social status. Also, Abhay Deol reportedly had some reservations about the film's emphasis on style over substance. In an interview, he mentioned that while he enjoyed working on the project, he wished it had delved deeper into the story's emotional core. And now let's talk about something that had every girl swooning back in the day, the co branded makeup line by Maybelline for Aisha. To celebrate the movie's chic and fashionable vibe, Maybelline launched a limited edition collection that became an absolute rage. From bold lipsticks to eye popping mascaras, the collection was all about capturing Ayesha's effortless glam. It wasn't just about makeup, it was a statement. Owning a piece of that line felt like stepping into Aisha's fabulous world, and let's be real, it was every girl's dream to recreate her iconic looks. The collection wasn't just a marketing time, it was a cultural movement that solidified Aisha as a trend setting phenomenon. Even if you didn't love the movie, you definitely wanted that lipstick. Lastly, here's a fun fact about Emma. It's one of Austen's most widely adapted novels, but Aisha remains one of the few that reimagines the story in a modern, non Western context. Finally, so does Aisha actually do justice to Austen's Emma? Well, it's a mixed bag. The film is undeniably stylish and it brings a fun, modern energy to the classic tale, but it sacrifices some of the book's depth and emotional nuance in favor of spectacle. If you are an Austen purist, you might find yourself missing the sharp wit and richer character arcs. But if you're in a mood for light, breezy watch with gorgeous visuals and a killer soundtrack, Aisha is a fun ride. And that's all for today's episode of Chapter to Cinema. So, what do you think? Did Aisha capture Austen's spirit or did it stray too far from the original? Let us know in your thoughts in the comments below and join us next time as we dive into another adaptation. Until then, keep reading, keep watching, and keep debating. Thank you so much for joining us.